Hello, this is Minutes by Minute, and I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're going to talk about what the village council is doing, the township legal people that are making all kinds of decisions that are affecting you out there in terms of ordinances and laws and regulations.
And just remember, you live in 4 communities and you elected all of these individuals or the people that they appointed to commissions. So the decisions that they make directly affect you.
Yeah, they could do that. Not you,
No,
but
no.
those people out there.
I
That's
live out in
because you're in
God's
Brandon.
I live in Brandon Township.
You do. Where taxes are going up. Way up. Did you folks know that?
Oh, I've been overtaxed all my life.
Well, you're overtaxing. Let's get on with it. Let's talk about the Township Board of Trustees.
Oh
Township.
boy. You
Okay.
went there, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, checked it out. Now, the supervisor of the township, Bill Dunn, of course, is the chairman of this group. And Sue Bellairs is on it, Patty Durer, Joe Ferrari.
Jack Curtis.
Jack Curtis, yes.
And Melvin Kreiderman,
Yes, all those people. And they make
also
some
known as Buck.
buck. Buck stops there.
Oh,
Okay. They went through the normal procedures, of course. Salute to the flag, roll call, the agenda approval for the evening. Then we got to your part of it, which is public comment.
oh good. And what was it?
Okay. Actually, it was rather lively. The room was actually full of people from wall to wall who wanted to discuss this issue.
Oh, someone's ox was getting gored.
Well, not yet, but it probably
Oh.
will.
Oh, okay.
It's regards to a building, residential building on Kibble Court, which is off Queen Street, and in the Oxford Woods subdivision. Did I get that? I got it, I think.
Where is the Oxford Wood subdivision?
I was hoping you would tell me that.
No. You're asking somebody from out of township here.
Oh yeah, but you've been
But you
around
live
here.
in the township.
Been here since 100 years. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but I still don't know about that one.
But anyway, what appears to have happened is that there's a home that is falling apart, has been for the last 20 years or so. An elderly gentleman lives there, and the neighbors
Did
are.
you say lived or lives?
They live there.
Oh.
He lives there.
It's abandoned?
No, he lives there.
Oh.
And the neighbors are saying, "Look, this building is falling apart, and there's critters. There's critters running all over the place."
And the other elephant in the room, and it's destroying our property values.
That's right. And also, weeds. They have these obnoxious weeds growing all over the lawn. It's called lawn, but it's mowed maybe once a year.
Well, I think they call that au naturel.
Yeah, right. So they were questioning, hey, we went to the township and you don't have an ordinance for noxious weeds to get rid of them.
Hey, wait a minute.
You have
I seem
ordinance.
to think that years ago at the Planning Commission, the whole noxious weed ordinance sort of popped up and just sort of disappeared.
Yeah. Was that at the township level back
Yes,
then?
yes.
Okay. I know the village has one. I mean, you better not spit on the ground in the village. But anyway, this was a time, of course, in public comment where the people sitting on the board don't make comment about what's going on. They just take in all this information that the residents provide. And they're all very unhappy with the situation. They feel, though, empathy for the old gentleman or the elderly gentleman living in the home. And the next door neighbor actually has contacted, I guess, relatives to see, you know, if there's anything that they could do to assist the situation or alleviate what's happening. So, and Bill Dunn spoke up to that particular resident and said, you know, that's nice that you talked to this neighbor to try to resolve the issue rather than use a legal force, you know, to do it. But the point came up that there isn't anything on the agenda to address an ordinance for noxious weeds. So
Well, now that the red flag has been raised, next meeting,
red flag all over the place, a whole bunch of red flags. But anyway, one gentleman said, well, I have a copy of what Lake Orion does. Not Lake Orion, but Orion Township.
right.
What they do in order to, you know, take care of this issue. And if you'd like, I can get you one, or you can get the copy, you know, from Orion.
Did he say what they did?
He said they don't allow noxious weeds, and they have
With what,
fines.
with what consequence?
Fines. there'd be fines, so many days in order to clear it up. And if they don't clear it up,
Do
more
they-
fines.
Well, the other alternative is for the village or the township to send someone in to do it and charge that resident.
Yes, but if there isn't an ordinance, that allows you to do that, then there's very little, that you can force them to do,
Oh, that's true.
unless you take a civil suit and file against them,
And no one wins there.
No, and it causes problems. So the good thing is Bill Dunn pointed out, you should negotiate this, but
So
we
basically,
understand, put it on the next agenda.
that's what I said.
I kind of knew that's where you were kind of leaning, but I wasn't all sure. So anyway, so that's what's going to happen. They're going to request an ordinance for Oxford Township. Next, Fire Chief Pete Schultz stood up. And Pete said, I have some bad news in a sense that we're going to lose our office manager assistant.
Oh.
And that's Margie. You know Margie?
Was this a sudden thing, or?
I think she's going to retire.
Well, I should have known that was coming.
Yeah. and here's the thing. He said, Pete Schultz said, I want to hire another person for this spot, and she's going to leave, I believe, the first part of 2015.
That's enough time to train a new person.
Yeah, but he's asking for 7 months of training. And Jack
7 months?
Yeah. And Sue Belair says, what? 7 months to train somebody? What kind of a person are we hiring? And of course, Bill Dunn, he said, yeah, he said, that seems a little extensive. And I know in business, you're usually given 90 days to get somebody,
Now,
so
this
they
is
can
not a
operate.
person that has to be trained in dispatch, right?
Not in dispatch, no. As office manager, they coordinate things, I guess, for the fire department. And I don't know all of what the responsibilities are, but I think it's quite extensive, and I understand that Margie has done a great job.
Okay.
The thing that comes into question is, 7 months seems a little long. Bill says, I might be interested in maybe 4 months.
Is the fire department ISO compliant?
I think they probably are. I would think
Then
they would
every
be.
job should be pretty much documented, shouldn't it?
I would say this job is documented, but the question rises here, how long would it take to train this individual to take her spot? And you know what? We'll talk about this a little bit more when we come back,
Okay.
right after this. This program is sponsored by Tim Hortons and Cold Stone Creamery, Oxford. Tim Hortons, a place good neighbors meet and eat. Fresh coffee and pastry served 24 hours a day, and great luncheon and soup specials served daily, and friendly service always. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're talking about the Township Board of Trustees meeting that they had.
Yes.
And we worked
Lively
our,
session.
yes, and we kind of worked our way up to Mr. Schultz, Fire Chief, and he's going to need a new office manager assistant.
Right.
And the point was that it'll take, he thinks 7 months to train this person, and that, of course, everybody raised their hands. 7 months? No. How long does it take you to train?
So does that mean that
You're an
there's
office
two
manager.
people? There's two people earning a wage. One's
Right.
being trained and one is training.
Yes.
For 7 months.
Yeah, double protection, double.
You're fun.
Okay, so anyway, they did say that definitely they need to have somebody, but they need to come on terms as far as how long it's going to take to train this person. And as you pointed out too, there is a job description for that individual. So I'm sure that that'll all be weighed.
Sure. And basically there are, when you put out a rec for a job, you put in that job description, and the person should have the basic qualifications walking in the door. There may be something specific to the fire department that
Right.
they need to learn.
I can't understand why they would think it would be 7 months to do this, but anyway, neither can the commissioners. So, anyway, they want to hire this person supposedly by July 15th. I don't think that's going to happen. The way Chairman Dunn was speaking, he's talking, well, maybe look at August or September, possibly hiring this person.
Well, at
but
very least
need
they
to
should.
work it out.
At the very least, they should have their ads out.
Yeah, and that's what they had mentioned too. Excuse me, as a requirement, they need to get that information out to get the applicants to come in. Next thing was the architect. They need to hire an architect for the fire station addition. Remember we had talked
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they need
yeah.
an addition put on? And the cost of that addition is going to be provided the work by SADOC Group, and it's going to be in the amount of about $38,000 is their bid that came in. And that was accepted, that was
That's just
approved.
do the drawings and the engineering and
Right.
all the other compliances.
All the other compliances, yes. They will also oversee the actual construction of the project, which is a good thing. A lot of these architects will draw, and then, you know, here's my drawings.
And that's
this is what
included in that price.
Yeah, included in the price.
Okay.
So, Chief Schultz wanted to point out that as far as fire calls and as far as response calls so far this year, there are 150 calls over last year's calls. So
For the same period.
For the same period, yep.
What happened?
They're busy. They're really
Well,
busy.
someone else is busy too. They got that many fires.
Well, some are less busy because the fires have burned down whatever they had. So
Well, that's
insurance companies, they're busy.
Percentage-wise, what is that increase? I mean, how many calls did they have last year at this
Well,
time?
I'll tell you what, why don't you get your little calculator out and let me know.
No. No, but I mean, how many calls did
Pretty
they have
easy way
last
out,
year?
huh? I don't know, they didn't say.
Oh, well then.
If they would have said, I would have provided that, but all they said is they had 150 more, which everybody's,
Which could be
"Oof, 150,
200%,
that's a
it could be
lot."
1,000%, who
Yeah,
knows?
right. But they didn't hire any new people for the fire department, so whoever they are, they were doing the work at no extra pay probably
Right.
to do it. I'm thinking.
And
Why
the
not?
fire department is composed of full-time and volunteers.
Yes,
Or not volunteers, what do they call them? On call.
on-call
Right.
volunteers. But they're
Right.
paid on-call,
So they're not volunteers.
no. But you got to be a volunteer. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to wait for a call.
Well, sure.
No calls this month. Gee, I spent a lot of time at home.
Yeah, and
No.
you know,
see.
and these are, you know, and you really got to give these guys credit because
Mm-hmm.
they'd obviously be holding down other jobs or what have you,
Yeah.
and when that call comes in, they have to go. They have to drop what they're doing.
Well, a lot of them are EMTs too, so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, I mean, when they're called, like they say, you know, you gotta get on the go and go.
Yep.
The thing is, there are a lot of these people that did the EMT work before and were on call that now don't do it because they have other full-time jobs.
Right.
So Pete,
Or age has cut in.
yeah, and Pete Schultz has mentioned before that they are always open, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
having additional people, you know, join the ranks. So, and they're going to need it because that's a stability for the fire department.
Now, you don't necessarily have to be a resident of Oxford Township to be a member of that fire department, do you? Or do you?
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I know some fire departments require you got to be a resident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the part-time individual like this would be
Right.
required to
Just
do that.
seeing how
So,
open the door was, that's
yeah,
all.
that's a technicality. You know, why don't you check on that and let me know?
Oh, sure.
I knew you'd be receptive to this one. Okay, but you shouldn't bring it up. Shouldn't bring it up if you don't want to check on it.
Kill the
Okay.
messenger.
Okay. They had some unfinished business. The fire department election is coming up, in which they're looking to also, along with the police department, consolidate a millage for 3.9125. In other words, almost
Is
for
that an election? Or,
mills.
Or a
Yeah, it's an
village-
election.
Millage
A
vote?
millage vote.
Okay,
During the November election.
Okay.
I should rephrase that.
right.
A millage vote coming up in the November election. And it's going to be almost 4 mills, and it's a 5-year push to get this, and it's to support the police department and fire department. Now, they were at one time talking about having a separate millage for the fire department to renew what they have, and also the police department. And they felt that it's better to put it all into one big thing and
So
let
this,
people know this is what
this
it's
is
going to be.
Is this specific only to the police and the fire personnel, or does it also include dispatch?
No, it's because the police for the township, and by the way, we're not talking about the village on this issue. This is strictly the township.
Oh, that's true. The township uses Oakland
Yes,
Sheriff's Department for
And
dispatch.
we're-
That's okay, okay.
right. You understand now.
I understand.
About time.
I'm a
Anyway,
little slow on the take, but sometimes I understand.
I never noticed. Anyway,
Hey,
as you well know, once they put the millage in for the police department, that goes towards whatever requirements are.
Right.
So, to support the township. Excuse me.
go ahead.
You want to say something?
No,
Are you sure?
no.
Oh, that was your chance.
I
Okay.
may dive in later.
Okay, Burdick Street paving. They have a section of the Burdick Street, as you know, known as Cemetery Hill or Pothole
But you don't have
light.
to worry about that right now because it's closed.
Yes, it is closed except for cemetery traffic.
True,
Now there isn't
true.
a lot of cemetery traffic coming out, but there's some going in.
Well, there's one less coming out.
Yes, right. But anyway, so it looks like the township's portion, not the village, but the township portion is going to be around $85,000,
Okay.
plus a little extra because of the drainage required.
Now, is that portion allocated based on the whole project or just where the township cuts in?
That's just where the township cuts in. The whole
Okay.
project is going to be like $500,000, $540,000, which
It
is
goes
a
without
part of it.
saying that the village is in the township.
The village is in the township, but the village is responsible for the major portion of Burdick Street, West Burdick
Okay.
Street. The township is responsible for a shorter section of it. So that's why it's broken up like it is in terms of finances.
Okay.
Okay, that being covered, we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kinney.
And we're on the subject of talking about the Township Board of Trustees, and we've covered a lot of territory, but there's a few other little pieces of territory we need to cover yet.
Well, just forge ahead.
Okay. They talked about, in the building department, having a grading permit established, which to
Thought teachers needed that.
No, students did. How would you know? I mean, you sat in detention most of the time.
Hey,
But anyway,
hey.
$120 would be the cost of the permit. And what is it used for? Grading. When you build a new home, it has to be sloped so that all the water doesn't run over on the neighbor's property. And so the discussion took place as well, do we need to know what the slope is on the previous property that was with a new home construction built, as well as the new home? And the point was no.
Things change because of
Yeah.
landfill.
Well, here's the thing. You got a house built here, it's built up here. You'd better find enough land to build up here. So that's what this is all about, make sure that's done. In most cases, the inspector can come in and just eye it up and pretty much see without bringing a transit in.
Well, that resolves a problem I had when you first said the word grading, because I
Yes.
thought road grading. But no, you're gone in a different direction.
Right, different direction. So anyway, that was approved. So from now on, you'll be graded. And then they talked about CDBG, which you know what that is.
Yep.
Okay, elaborate, quick.
Community Development Block Grant.
Yep. And so that was approved, and what
Do you
did
get an
it?
A for that?
You do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what that's for is doing repair, things that need to be corrected in residential properties, that kind of thing. And there's a fund for that. And it was approved that they go ahead and do that because it's a county type thing in a 3-year period from 2015 to 2017 is what it's allocated for.
And
So
that money comes from where?
it comes from the county.
Okay.
Yep.
Who gets it from the state?
Who,
Or is it
well,
developed through their own tax system?
comes out of taxes, yeah.
Okay.
I think. Then they talked about the cemetery. We mentioned it about Burdick Street.
Right.
But they have mausoleums there, and they have 2 of them, one
Now,
on each
is-
side.
The mausoleum is on in the public cemetery,
Yeah.
correct?
No.
It's not.
Well, yeah, in the township-owned cemeteries.
Right,
Yeah, which are at the top
right.
of the
As
hill.
opposed to Ridge Lawn, which is down the lower portion on the,
You got it, dude.
okay, right.
Okay. Anyway, it's going to cost roughly $16,000 plus a few little extras to get these roofs fixed. One is a flat roof, one is not. So, and actually, there's 2 separate
I
bids that
remember
came
seeing
in.
mausoleums there. One has a name on it, doesn't
You
it?
probably wonder what they use them for, right?
The little cubby holes,
What do they use the cubby holes for?
little cubbies.
Well, they take the little dead cubbies in the wintertime. For
Well-
example, when they can't dig the ground and they
Oh,
put
really?
them in there. Yeah.
Okay, I thought perhaps, well, what do they call it when they, place where they deposit ashes?
Ashleyum?
No, no,
I have
no.
no
it's-
idea.
It's like little cubby holes.
Like
There you go,
mailboxes.
Uncle Fred.
Oh, those things. I remember those. But they, cubby holes, they got drawers that pull out or something.
No, no, no. No,
A little
they're permanent.
open up.
They're permanent, but they have a name on it, like a headstone, but it's quite small.
Look that up and let us know, will you?
Thank you very much. Another assignment.
Okay. Okay.
How
They did.
come I walk away with this? All these have work to do.
Well, why do you never bring it back to us? That's what I want to know. Anyway, personnel policy, they touched on vacations quickly just to summarize that after 2 years, their employees get 10 days vacation. And after 5 years, they get 15 days. Pretty straightforward.
Has that changed at all?
Nope. It just had to be reworded so people understood what they got. That's about it.
That's pretty explicit.
Alrighty, let's go on and talk about the Oxford Village Council just briefly. They had a meeting on June 10th.
Boy, there was somebody there that was pretty grumpy after a certain vote.
Yeah, they
Who
brought
shall
up
remain nameless.
they brought up the thing that should the residents have a voice, in other words, during the election in November, to state if they want to continue paying over $300,000 per year for 911 dispatch.
I thought that was 200,000.
Well, it's the budget is
Grew since
305,000.
last time?
305,000 is
Okay.
the budget, and then there's
Wow.
some monies that come in that bring it down to 250,000
Okay.
roughly. So that's how that works. But anyway, I was adamant that you folks should vote.
Adamant.
I think it's a big amount of money per year, especially if you can go to the county, and the county's expense is 28,000 a year versus 305 on our budget.
How'd that vote go, by the way?
Well, there's three people, Dave Bailey, the chairman, Helmuth, and Basardi, who voted that the people should not vote on this, that it's up to the council to decide. And I don't think I believe the council has already decided, the majority, that nothing is going to change, which is the same old stuff that goes on, nothing ever changes, unless you push hard to make a change. But you folks out there are the ones that need to make the change by pushing hard. So anyway, you covered that turkey, didn't you? So
I was on the other side of the camera, so I got to see all that.
Yeah, he was. Coward. Okay, they did talk about access to the Ridgelawn Cemetery, which they wanted an access or an exit, privately owned cemetery. That was tabled, so that didn't go far.
That would have been the exit off of Dayton Road?
Right.
Okay.
And the reason why it was tabled is that there's information, historical information needs to come forward, and that information wasn't at this meeting.
Okay.
98 Glassby Street, yep, it's closed down. It'll be closed down now until the 15th of July is when it should be completed. I'm sorry, 17th of July.
98 Glassby, what is that again?
Oh, 98 Glassby, I'm sorry, I was talking about the Burdick Street. 98, didn't mean to confuse you. I want to confuse him, but not you. 98.
Nice try.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? 98 Glassby Street, there's the letter that was a potential $400,000, but they wanted a exclusive for $10, and that was.
Try doing that with an automobile dealer.
Yeah, that was changed, and it'll be discussed with the company that's interested. That's pretty much it. Planning consultant McKenna was reappointed for the following year.
But there was a guy that got up and complained about the Edison Alley, is it called?
Yes, Edison Alley. There was one person under public
Comment?
comment. Yep, and he said that since they've been doing Edison Alley, that they're taking trees out, which is taking a sound barrier out and that kind of thing. So, and that individual was invited to see Joe Young and discuss the whole issue and resolve it. Okay, what's coming up?
Okay, we got a lot of meetings. It's that time of the month. And on 6/17 at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission. Also at 7 o'clock, the Addison Township Library Board. And at 6 o'clock, the Oxford Township Parks and Rec Division or Commission will be meeting. And at 6 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Council. It's a special meeting, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
For hearing on the sewer and water.
Sewer and water, yep.
Public
17th,
hearing. Attend it.
6 o'clock.
On 6/18 at 7 o'clock, Oxford Public Library Board. At 7 o'clock on 6/18, Addison Township Fire Board. At 3 o'clock on 6/18, the Pollyant Trail Management Council will be meeting at the Oxford Vets Hall. And on 6/19 at 5 o'clock, the Oxford Township Planning Commission Ordinance Review Subcommittee. But you check on that one because sometimes they cancel it. And Also at 4:30 on that day, the North Oakland Transportation Authority will be meeting at the Betts Hall. And,
Okay, this is Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols,
and I'm Dave Kenny.
and we'll catch you next time.
See you then.
At Oakland County Parks and Recreation, we value what you value: family relationships, community connections, good health, environmental stewardship, and economic stability. Oakland County residents and businesses have invested in preserving nearly 7,000 acres of parkland. Since 1966, 13 parks and golf courses have been acquired, maintained, and improved. Oakland County parks and facilities are made possible by millage funds supported by Oakland County residents. For a home valued at $200,000, the homeowner pays less than $25 per year to support the Oakland County parks. With every generation, families create lifelong memories at Oakland County's award-winning parks. From exciting summer escapades and stories around the campfire to brisk fall walks on wooded trails and snowy winter outings, the outdoors beckons year-round. It's time to get up, get out, and get going at the Oakland County parks. Active recreation options abound. Cross-country ski or mountain bike on tree-lined trails. Scale the rock climbing wall. Get your kicks with soccer at several sports fields. Row or paddle a boat on 4 picturesque inland lakes. It's an easy journey. Most parks are just a short drive away. A quick tip: all our parks and golf courses end in Oaks. To find your favorite, just go to destinationoakland.com. Click to pick Oceans of Motion water parks at Red Oaks and Waterford Oaks, the Wint Nature Center at Independence Oaks, Teen Adventures, and even entertainment to go. When outdoor adventures on your list, there's fishing, beaches, boating, playgrounds, and seasonal hunting. The campgrounds at Addison Oaks and Groveland Oaks feel like being up north with plenty of recreation options. Want to get fit? Hit the trails. Oakland County Parks boasts more than 68 miles for strolling, walking, hiking and running, biking, or horseback riding. If the links are your lure, 5 golf courses, including Premier Course Lion Oaks, are conveniently located. Make Glen Oaks or White Lake Oaks your home course. Get an up-north feel at Springfield Oaks, or play a quick 9 at Red Oaks. Our recreation lineup rocks. Learn to swim. Experience an outdoor adventures camp. Take the fast track at BMX, or gain new lifelong skills. Everyone's included. Individuals with disabilities participate in dozens of adaptive opportunities, including a new fully accessible playscape, modified golf carts, and annual events. There's always something special going on at Oakland County Parks, whether it's a classic car show, the Oakland County Fair, a senior golf tournament, or the Ellis Barn Festival. Being green is an everyday practice with nature interpretive programs, wildlife habitat protection, reduction of invasive species, and stormwater management. Your responses to surveys indicate that you want more trails. The Oakland Trails Advisory Council was established to coordinate trail systems and seek grant sources for future trail construction. You also said that maintaining and refurbishing existing facilities is a high priority, as well as continuing exceptional quality service standards.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.